every single one of you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family, massive, massive welcome to every single one of you here today, from myself and Joe, from Julia and Mark, and from Chris and Alison. Every single one of you, such a warm welcome today. Do you know, I absolutely love weddings, and this is my daughter's wedding. I can't quite believe it, and I'm loving today. I'm buzzing. I think this is, I think, the happiest day of my life. I'm proud, I'm happy. I look around, I've got all my friends and family around me. I've got a new family I'm getting to know. It doesn't get much better than this. This is a massive day for all of us on the top table. Huge day. Anyone here as parents know what a big day this is for each of us. And whilst I'm quite used to doing speeches in the line of work I do, this is different, and this is not going to be easy for me. And I am apparently, from the table over there, 6 to 4 on to cry by the end of the... There's a lot of money riding on this.
That's pretty good enough, pretty good enough.
And those who know me well know that I'm not adverse to shedding the odd tear or two. However, let me just read you some guidance I picked up in preparing for today. I was told, without wishing to pile on the pressure, the father of the bride is associated with the most significant and poignant speech of the day. Right, live with that. If ever there is a time for a grown man to allow emotion, then this is it. So, if my voice goes, if tears happen, that's okay. I have permission. And somebody over there may win a big bet. So, we will see. We will see. So, as I say, on behalf of Joe and I, on behalf of all Steve's family, welcome every single one of you here today. Special welcome to those I haven't met before. I hope I get to meet you before the end of this evening. And please come up and say hello if I haven't met you before. Everyone on that table I think is called Dan, so we have names. And we've got people surrounding us, all the loved ones. We've got Steve's family here, we've got Joe's side of the family here, Nana and Pops are here, and our close family. We've got all my brothers and sisters together for the first time for a long time, which means the world, here we go, which means the world to Megan and me. And we've got my lovely mum here from Ireland, as my brother and sister have travelled over from Ireland as well. You're here because you're special. Every single one of you are here because you're special. You're special to Megan and Steve. You're special to us as parents. You're special because you've played a part in their lives. However big or small, each one of you here have played a part in their lives. And that's why you're here. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here. You mean the world to us. And actually, you've made the cut, actually, because there's many who haven't made the cut. So you are honoured and privileged, each and every one of you. This morning, I saw Megan in her dress for the first time. I deliberately chosen not to see Megan in a dress up until today, and she looked fantastic. I know I'm biased. I know I'm very She looked brilliant. She looked fantastic. When I got up this morning, I did a bit of grooming, a bit of pampering. Got the makeup lady sort the hair out. That took a while, but and I took in the look in the mirror, which I'm not prone to do too often. I'll try and stay away from that. And I looked in the mirror and I realised where Megan got her looks from. My lovely wife Jo. extra full on a bit. And before I speak of Megan, I just want to speak of my wife Jo. Bear with me, Dan.
He's my best friend.
I want to thank you, Jo, for so much. We've had difficult times, we've had sad times, we've had loads of happy times. And through it all, what I've seen from you is the most loving and caring mother that you could wish to see. I'm so proud of my daughter and my son over there.
Here he is.
And I did a job that required many long hours of working, and Jo did often do the parents' job alone. I was a bit of a weekend dad. And Tom in his Mother's Day card the other day, wrote in the card and said, "Mum, thanks for always putting us first." And that's what you've done, Jo. And yes, we've had tired times, we've had difficult times, we've had happy times, but Jo's all paid off. This is our celebration. This is what it's all about. And I'm a very happy, proud father and husband. Thank you. Can you hear me? Stop using this microphone.
No, it's fine.
I'd just like to also say, before I go on to Megan, a big thank you to the staff at Crondon here, many of whom I know because this is where I play golf. I had hoped actually to get a few holes. You know, the maths went on too long, and then all everybody having a nice time. But when you feel the love in the room, actually, I prefer to be here than the golf course, which is unusual for me to say that. So, let me come and talk to you about my lovely daughter Megan. It's nearly 25 years ago, 4th of July 1990, momentous day. Many of you will remember it, some of you will remember it, and remember where you are, an important day for many of us. It was the day England lost to Germany in the semi-final of the World Cup. However, Megan's birth helped me get over. Megan was the first grandchild on both sides of the family. A very special arrival she was. We took her home, great joy, delighted, great happiness in the family. Jo and I could not have been happier. And it didn't matter, actually, Jo had fallen over in the hospital and broken her arm. She had a bad break in her arm, and arm was in plaster. Didn't matter, we had a little baby growing at home, it was lovely. So that meant, for me, a lot of duties and bottle feeding and changing and bathing, which was great. And unexpected, but I enjoyed it. And a bond started with me and my little girl. And that bond then, it was tested. She was only a few weeks old, we were at a wedding. And she was lying in my lap. Bride came up the aisle with the father of the bride, and Jo whispered to me, and he gave her away at the front of the church, and Jo whispered to me, "You'll be doing that one day." I'll never do that. It hit me like a hammer. And I could feel the tears well up in my eyes at that point. And at that point, I felt the first twinge of fear that all fathers of little girls know. It is that twinge of fear that starts as this tiny spark, and as they grow, so it grows to a raging flame. It is a raging flame that asks the question, what kind of a bloke is she going to drag home? Not a father of a daughter here does not know what I'm talking about. Quite frank, you know what I mean? So, no way was I going to give her away to some prospective husband easily. So I formulated some key rules. And these key rules for boyfriends for Meghan were no motorbikes, no tattoos, no Arsenal fans, and he had to love her more than I do. So I would drum these rules into Meghan when she was asleep, subconsciously often. I would whisper these words to her as I put her to bed, and I would take the opportunity whenever it arrived to drop these words into her. And as a reaction to this fear, we moved away. We moved into the country, get away from the risks of meeting Arsenal fans. We moved to a new school. She went to Newhall, an all-girls school. And I resolved then, because we all know as parents that our time with children, we have a short window. Our time with our children is small. We borrow them for a little while. And I resolved, with only 2 children, to try and spend one-to-one time with each of my children. With Tom it was easy. We have football. We'd either play football, I'd watch him play football, or we'd take our season tickets to the mighty Spurs and watch them play football. But for a daughter, as any father of a daughter here will testify, that isn't so easy. It's harder to get that one-to-one time. I guess it's a bit easier when they're younger. So when they're younger, yes, we had our story time. We had bath time, and we had walks down the street with a pram, which tend to bounce off the wall and into the pavement. And then we had horse riding lessons. Months, years of horse riding lessons, but it was good one-to-one time, and the car back, and you drive, you'll steer the car. And as she grew older, we became a bit more cultured. We'd go to see Shakespeare plays, and we'd then go to Stratford-on-Avon, or then we'd go to some of the West End shows together, just her and I, just one-to-one time. And more recently, her taste became more expensive, so now we're going to the Goring Hotel or the Savoy for the tea. So that's how it is. So when she went off to university, after 18 years of building this rapport, I felt, with my daughter, I was setting her off to the world of Norwich to meet some of these people here, God heaven forbid. And I reminded Meghan of the rules. So Meghan, no motorbikes, no tattoos, no Arsenal fans, and the final rule. So the final rule, well, after 18 years with my daughter, I realised the final rule of he had to love you more than I do. I was destined her life to be devoid of boyfriends, to be devoid of a husband. So that final rule changed. So I said to Meg, the final rule's changed. The final rule is he has to love you just as much as I do. He can't love you more. And after Meghan had been at university for about a year, I got a phone call from her one day. What are you doing on Saturday, Dad? I said, why's that? She said, well, I want to bring my friend Steve round to meet you and Mum. Bring my friend Steve round. So she brought her friend Steve round. And I remember coming home from golf that evening. I saw Tom downstairs, and I said, Tom gave me a thumbs up, which is quite unusual for you, Tom, to do. And then I saw Joe, and asked her, and she said to me, now, be nice to them. He's a nice boy, because Joe thinks I'm normally was a bit grumpy. And she's been nice to him, because he's already been upstairs in the bathroom, and he's had a shave. He's had a shave because he's about to meet you. You're about to meet Meghan's father, he's had a shave. And I thought, that's a good sign. I didn't even need it. You know, I didn't need it. 2 weeks. Well, that's that's a good sign. So then I met him and I checked out. Did he ride a motorbike? No. Any tattoos? No. And he supported Man United. Not even a London club. So I thought. Now these were the easy rules. So the fourth rule was the hardest rule. He had to love her as much as I do. How was that going to? So that was the difficult rule. Since then, Steve, that's 5 years ago. Since then, he's been on 3 family holidays with us. The patience, Steve, to come on 3 family holidays with your girlfriend and their family, I think that's above and beyond the call of Jesus. He's spent a long time in our house, and I've loved him being around. He's been inseparable with Megan, and they've shared a house together for almost 2 years. Steve, you did not know it during that time, but you have been closely watched. Not by Jo, I hasten to add. She loved you from day one, but I was watching. I was watching very carefully. And this is what I want to say, Steve. You are an inspiring young man. Yeah. Your energy and get up and go are unsurpassed. You are a great sportsman. You play rugby. Odd-shaped ball, I hasten to add, and not the beautiful game, but you play rugby. You run, swim, you ride the bike like the bloody wind. And you combine that in triathlons. You are a great worker and clearly highly thought of by those who he works with. You are an absolute pleasure to have in my house, and I love when you're around. You are lovely to my son Tom. You have become a good friend to Tom. You are a fine role model for him, and you are like a brother to him. You are an absolute credit to each one of your parents. You care for my daughter magnificently, and I know and I see her happy. I know when she's happy, and she is so often very happy when she is with you. I feel it in the room today. It is just weird. Steve, you asked me in Ireland in August for Megan's hand in marriage. Steve, I had no hesitation in saying yes because I realised a long time ago you had passed the fourth form. You do love her as much as I do. After 25 years, Steve, I can finally relax. I do not say this lightly or easily. Life can be difficult at times, and I have worked very, very hard to provide happiness and security for my children. A love of a father to a daughter runs very, very deep, and it runs very, very deep from me to Megan. I prayed one day that a man like you would come along, and you have. And whilst it is hard for me to give her away, it is a pleasure because I can honestly say I could not give her away to a better man than you. Megan, myself, your mum, and our Tom are so very, very proud of you. We love you so very, very much. You bring fun, unpredictability, loads of emotion, lots of happiness, and oh so, so much love to your family, to every one of your family. You are a great worker. You are a wonderful history scholar. you have become an inspiring primary school teacher. I had the pleasure of being at Megan's school last week to a school play. And I saw the 7-year-olds and Megan in action with them. And I was so proud. She cares for those children, she gives them strength and she gives them support. She works in an inner city school with social problems which are unimaginable to us in our privileged surroundings. And she deals with tough circumstances. You are truly making a difference to young people's lives. You have a proper job. I'm about to finish. So before I offer the toast, I want to take this moment, Megan, to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my soul. Thank you for not bringing home an Arsenal fan. If I could not have chosen better for you. Steve, welcome to our family. We're a motley crew. We are loving. We've got a great mixture of Irish and English blood running through us. We love you, Steve. I welcome you to our family. I welcome you as my son-in-law. I look forward to many happy days ahead. And Megan and Steve, your life together is just starting. It will take its turns along the way. You'll have your glory days, you'll have your sad days. And if I can just say and add to the inspiring words of the priest, Father Niall, today, if you have each other, you will have all you need. Care for each other, communicate with each other, make each other number one. And with that, you will have a long and happy life. And that will be my pleasure. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the bride and groom. You know. Bride and groom. Bride and groom.
Absolutely smashed it. The chest. Here we go. Here we go. Bride and groom. Yeah, we go. Yes.